You're done with us just like that? No, no one can say that was just like that. Really, I want the Blues want another match at Round Hill, but this time there will be no surprises for me, because there will be a title match. Oh, before you deny our request, we have a list last week.
I'm here backstage trying to get some word on how Soul Sister is doing after that real attack by Win the Blues just before the break. Wait, here comes Hobsy Happens Way. Let's see if we can get an update on how Soul Sister is doing from her. Hobsy, how is Soul Sister doing?
So, Soul Sister has a left elbow fracture now and will be out for some time. So Darkside, Win the Blues, I stepped into that ground because no one touches my ride or die just by it. Now I just need to attack. I have a dark but very here. I need your help, Eileen. Come on now. So I need your help to take down the former besties, Win the Blues and Darkside. And after they took out my ride or die, Soul Sister, I thought no one better than you to help me out. So Eileen for helping me take out the line out of Darkside and Win the Blues. I'm in. Sometimes you have to go to the depths of the darkness to find someone to have your back in this life. This was the case with this happiness father when finding a partner who hates Darkside and Win the Blues. So, without further ado, here is my tag team partner for my match against Darkside and Win the Blues at Grand Prix.
There's always a joker in the pack, and everyone loves when he's down. There's always a funny man in the game, but he's only funny by mistake. They don't see he's only happy. They don't care as long as they're just a fool, as foolish as he can be. There's always a joker. That's the rule. With fingers I have I see. The joker is me. The joker is me. The joker is me.
My enemy of my enemy is now my friend. Hobsy and I may not see eye to eye, but we share a hatred for my former besties, Darkside and Win the Blues, especially after they turned their backs on this Joker after seeing Hobsy wasn't such the heel they were making her out to be. Sometimes you have to lose it to find it again in life, and now after losing myself, I'm ready to find it again by beating the living in hell and those two doo-doo doofbags with the shining lights of Hobsy the Happiness Father by my side, Crown Jewel, because there is no more dangerous or crazier than Jolene Hobsy.
Welcome, my name is Hobsy and welcome to the Happiness Fighters Army, where we're all about fighting for happiness, our dreams, our successes against our own version of our own darkness, be mental health, physical health, life situations, or the big bad world right now. Now, will the darkness or the light win at Crown Jewel? And what I mean by that is, will Darkside and Win the Blues defeat Hobsy the Happiness Fighter and a new family friend of darkness, Jolene Hobsell? Or will the craziness of Jolene Hobsell and the darkness be enough to let the light win for once? Well, you're just going to have to find out after Crown Jewel. But I'm loving doing this series, and it's so therapeutic. And especially with Jolene Hobsell, she's like my inner Harley Quinn, crazy, goofy, joyful side. And I love playing her. And I love now making a voice up for her. That is actually my actual voice doing character work. I love it. I was trying to work out what voice would work. And I came from this voice and something just was like, yes, this is the voice for her. Especially with her new look as well. If you have been following me on TikTok, Jolene Hobsell was on TikTok about 3-4 years ago. Then I stopped playing her because just my mental health had gone downhill and all that sort of stuff. But now that she's come back, I love playing her. I really do. And I love doing voice character work like this. And yeah, so let me know in the comments if you want to see more characters in Hobsy the Happiness Fighter takes on their rivals in WWE in 2025. Also, let me know if you want to see more of those characters have their own voice. Because for this voice or this character, I did not do any voice editing. No voice over work. That's just all my natural voice in a character form. So yeah, also I will give you guys an update at the end of this video on my journey to claiming the Ultimate Dream Championship at WrestleMania next year. But with that, we've got to get to a few PLEs before that, and one of them is Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. and I want to make my predictions for Crown Jewel, any surprise elements, and all that. So with that, let's get on with it, shall we? Now, there's a couple of things I want to iterate before I get into the matches. Firstly, if it sounds like I'm nasally or congested, it's because I am. I'll be clear of this in a week's time. It's just something that happens when it's that time of the month for me. I get really sick and run down. So yeah, if I sound nasally and congested, it's because of that. Number 2, I'm filming this before the kickoff show and Friday Night SmackDown. So I will probably be only talking about what I've seen up to then. If anything happens after it, I will not be editing it in. Also, I'm going to go non-Crown Jewel title matches first, then the Crown Jewel title matches, then any surprise elements. If there's a surprise element that's talked about in the match, I'll just recap it at the end. So with that, let's get on with the first match at Crown Jewel, shall we? Now, the first match I want to talk about is the Women's Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match. Now, with this match, I'm not interested in it as other matches, but I am glad that we are getting more women in the Tag Team Championship title scene. And the 4 women tag teams in this match are Damage Control with Io Sky, Akari Sane, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, Lash Legend and Jakara, and lastly the women's tag team champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, where do I see this match going? I see one or two things happening. One, Jade and Bianca retain because there's another big bad team of them coming up and they want them to lose the titles to them. Or I see Damage Control or Lash Legend and Jakara winning it, so then they continue that feud between Damage Control and Lash and Jakara. And I'm leaning more towards that one. Nothing against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I just think their time as tag team champions has run its course, basically. And it's time for new women's tag teams to get their shot at the titles. Also, you could bring in, I don't know, this is just a wild guess. You could bring the return of Dakota Kai into this as well, but that's just a way out there guess. But yeah, it's either going to be the tag team champions retain or Damage Control or Lash Legend and Jakara become new women's tag team champions in my eye. And I will say Lash Legend and Jakara have really grown on me the last couple of weeks when they're being brought up to the main show. And they could be put on the main show, but not this year. I think maybe next year. I feel like WWE is testing them to see if they're main show ready. That's what I'm getting the vibes from. Now, let's talk about the US Championship title match between Andrea, LA Knight, and Carmelo Hayes. Now, in my eyes, it's either going to be LA Knight or Andrea winning this championship. I don't see Carmelo Hayes winning this because I feel like someone could return if they're medically cleared, and that is AJ Styles. You could have AJ Styles return, take out Carmelo Hayes after what happened in their match. It would be a great way to fix this whole injury storyline, and it would set up a great rivalry between the two of them. Plus, I'm sick of Andrea and Carmelo Hayes going at it. He needs someone new to feud with, basically. But between Andrea and LA Knight, I don't know. It's like 50-50 for me. So yeah, that's where I see that match going. Now let's talk about the Viper Randy Orton versus KO Kevin Owens. Now I want to iterate, I'm a fan of both of these men. I've been an RKO fan for, I worked out this year, 20 years. And I love Kevin's just keep fighting attitude, and I love that. And I get where they are going with his storyline, and I get that he feels like he's overlooked as someone that feels like they're being overlooked right now. So I get where Kevin's coming from, and I just think these two are just going to go at it. And it's either going to end in one or two ways. First way, it's a disqualification. These two just go at it so hard that they get counted out, disqualified, and then the match replays at Survivor Series in some sort of like last man standing, street fight, something like that type of match. Or Kevin takes out Randy so bad that he's on the shelf, like not injury wise, but he's just taken off for a while. And then this sets up Kevin versus Cody at Survivor Series. It's one of those two ways. No offense to anyone, I just don't see him winning it. And yeah, that's my prediction on that. I will say I'm just going to go for the match in this. I love both of these. My heart is torn. So yeah. And speaking about heart being torn, I'm going to talk about the next match, which is Seth frickin' Rollins versus Big Bad Bronson Reed. Now, on Monday Night Raw, we had the little backstage brawl sort of thing, and Seth was rushed off into an ambulance, and they said they were looking over him. And fingers crossed this match still happens, because I reckon this match would be really good story-wise. And I feel like Seth, before he got taken out, he was going to say it's like a last man standing or a street fight or some sort of match like that. But I feel like they're going to save that for Survivor Series now, if this match still happens, sort of thing. So, and my heart is torn and I'm a fan of both of these. I've been a Seth Rollins girl for ages, and as a fellow Radelator, I have to back the hometown hero anytime he's in a match. And I'm so glad Bronson Reed is finally getting a match on a PLE, finally. Would have loved it for a title, but I get it, they have to build him up first. So, yeah. So, with this match, I'm not predicting anything. The only thing I will predict, though, if it's a normal match, it'll be like a disqualification or count out or something like that. And then they'll go to Survivor Series where it's like with Randy and Kevin, like a last man standing type of match. Or you could have Braun Strowman come back and interfere. One of those two things happening. But I'm just happy that Bronson's finally on a PLE and getting the spotlight he deserves. And I feel like these two bring out the best in each other. Like Seth brings out the experience and the spotlight that Bronson needs, and Bronson brings out that darkness and rage and aggression that Seth has been missing for a while. So, to these two, just kill it, basically. And I'm just going to enjoy the match. Now, let's talk about another feud that's been going on, and this match was added just a couple of days ago. It's going to be Old Bloodline versus New Bloodline in a 3-on-3 tag team match. And when I say Old Bloodline and New Bloodline, the OTC, as I'm going to call it, Bloodline, of Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, my Tribal Chief, and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, Yeet, versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatui, and probably one of the Tonga brothers. I'm going to say. I just don't know which one yet. And I am really loving the reunion of the original Bloodline coming back. Now, I want to iterate that I was not a fan of the Bloodline when they were in charge like those 4 years. But now that they've shown that they've lost and they come back and be more humble Bloodline, I'm liking it. And I am just really invested in this. Well, not really invested, but I love this. And that's why I'm going Team OTC. And you could have even Paul Heyman come back in this match. I reckon the ref's going to get knocked out somewhere, or The Rock will come out and be like, if you do that, you're fired. Like at WrestleMania. Something like that. You could even have The Rock come back at the end of this match. I've got a funny feeling that this could be maybe the third last match of the night or the last match of the night. And I'm okay with it. I just feel like something big's going to happen here. Like, more Bloodline members could be added. You could have Sammy turn on Roman and Jimmy and Jay after what we saw on Monday Night Raw this week. There's so many possibilities, I just cannot predict it. But I'm going with the team OTC, as I'm going to call it. But I've got a funny feeling Solo's going to win by disqualification or something like that. Or he'll cheat his way. And don't get me wrong, I love what Solo is doing. I'm just not a fan of Solo at the moment. And yeah, that's my predictions on that. Now let's get into the Crown Jewel Championship matches. Let's talk about the men's match first, and that is Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Now, this one I'm not really interested as much, but I get it's like a dream match that had to happen eventually. And I'm going to say, even though I don't like this person, I've got a funny feeling Gunther's going to become the first ever men's Crown Jewel champion, because you could have Kevin, especially if he, like I said, either gets disqualified or wins later in the night. He could be like, well, I'm going to go after Cody now. Sets up that rivalry for Survivor Series. Or if he loses even. And yeah, that's my predictions on that. Now, this is the match that I am looking forward to the most out of the whole Crown Jewel PLE. And that is the Women's Crown Jewel Championship match between Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. Now, there is many possibilities for this match, but one is Rhea being there. After what happened to her on NXT, it's being reported that she has a right fractured orbital socket, basically fractured eye bone, I would put it, and will be out for several weeks. I'll be surprised if Mummy is there, but I don't see her being there for a little while, and that's okay. Injuries happen in WWE, and we just have to deal with it as fans. That rivalry with her and Liv, I don't see continuing into Crown Jewel, but I do see Raquel. Well, we know Raquel's over in Saudi Arabia, so Raquel's going to be in Liv's corner, of course. And, of course, Tiffany's going to be in Nia Jax's corner. And I'm going to say Nia Jax is going to win this match and become the first women's Crown Jewel champion. But she will lose her title because of it. And here's why. Tiffany Stratton's got that Money in the Bank briefcase, right? Fair enough, the match happens. Nia Jax is down and out. Tiffany hits her with the briefcase, cashes it in, 1, 2, 3, wins it, and becomes the new WWE Women's Champion. And then that sets up a feud between Nia and Tiffany at Survivor Series, maybe, for the title. Something like that. Or you could go another route, which I don't think this is happening. You could have Tiffany try to go cash it in, but then we hear someone's music, and that is Miss Charlotte Flair, the Queen herself, and she returns, and she costs Tiffany her cash in. So, one of those two ways for the Nia Jax side, but I see Nia being Crown Jewel champion. Now for the Liv side of this match, I see something happening to cost her the match. Now, I was going to say Rhea, but we know, like I said, she's out on injury. So who else has Liv Morgan had a feud with? Let's think. We could do Zelina. Zelina and Liv would get a different face in the title picture. But I don't see that happening. I feel like Zelina might win the Royal Rumble and win the title shot that way next year. I can see her winning the Royal Rumble, but that's way into the future. There's only one thing I can think of, and one other person that has so much aggression and anger and just could fit right into this rivalry and set up a really great storyline, and that is the man herself, Becky Lynch, returning and taking out Liv Morgan and Raquel and doing it at Crown Jewel. I see this, I really do, because where was the title match that Becky had to lose the title to Liv Morgan in the first place? King and Queen of the Ring. Liv's been saying that she's retired the man, and it could be like, nope, you didn't retire me, you just made me go on hiatus for a while. Also, with Dirty Dom as well, you could have, I'm going to say it, you could have Finn eventually lose the tag team championship with JD McDowell, and Finn's just had enough of Judgment Day, the way it's turning. He leaves. I don't know about JD McDowell so much, but at least Finn. And then you could have Finn Balor and Becky Lynch take on Liv and Dom. That's just a suggestion off the top of my head, but that would work because we know Finn Balor and Becky Lynch work so well. But yeah, I just see the man returning here, especially when it's been announced that she's going to be at some sort of conference thingy. I'll put the thing up here on the screen now, on the November 17th. WWE could promote that more and they could do more with that, but yeah. And I see this setting up maybe a Women's Survivor Series match with Liv and Raquel, and then Becky, and maybe Mummy comes back as well, and then you put some other people, like you could put PFC in there, and then you could put like Lara and Natty and Zelina on the other side. I would love a 4 Horsemen mini reunion, but I'll take what I can get. And yeah, these women could kill it in a Survivor Series War Games match. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Now let's get on with surprise elements. Firstly, I feel like The Rock's going to come back. The man Becky Lynch is going to come back. Not so much Charlotte, but you never know. What else? I'm going to say John Cena might make an appearance somewhere in this and start announcing like who his first person will be in his retirement tour or setting up that rivalry. You could do a backstage segment saying like, once I've dealt with this, I'm coming back. Something like that. What else? We're definitely going to get some sort of setup for the Survivor Series War Games matches, whatever they are. I'm going to say Sami Zayn will turn his back on the Bloodline. That's a surprise element I'm going to say. Also, I'm going to say that they will make an announcement that they will be coming back to Australia next year and what PLE it will be. I've got a fun feeling it's going to be Survivor Series 2025 in Australia. But they'll make that announcement maybe. And yeah, they're the surprise elements. And that's my predictions for Crown Jewel. Now, I said to you guys I would give you an update on the Ultimate Dream Championship journey I am and my journey to get to WrestleMania. Well, you girls got some good news and some bad news. Good news, she got her first priority pass to WrestleMania. I got my 2-day tickets. Yes, they're not where I would love them to be, but I said as long as I get a priority pass, it doesn't matter where the seating is. And yeah, so thank you to On Location and Cash Converters for the loan that I had to take out to get to these. And I'm hoping to enjoy this and go there. But that leads into the bad news. The bad news is the money I would need for the flights and accommodation is going to be over $6,000. When you have no job and you're only on a Australian financial welfare income, $5,000 looks like a lot. Also, when you have chronic or health issues as well, that limits what you can do, it looks like a lot of money. So I'm going to try my hardest to get to WrestleMania, even if I have to take out a credit card or another loan. I'm going to try my hardest to get there because I want to be there. I feel like something big and massive and historical is going to happen, and I'm going to regret it if I don't go. So I'm going to try my hardest, and I know people are going to say in the comments, well, it's only like a couple months out, you still got time. But for me, the closer it gets, the less likely this will happen because of money. I had this problem with WWE Elimination Chamber earlier this year. It was only a week out before that I got the money for it, and I paid through the nose. I want to get this out of the way before the end of the year, so then I can just relax and not stress. Plus, I've also got to finish paying off the tickets because I did in installments. Plus, I've got to start saving money for spending money as well, like for food, taxis, the deposit for the hotels, anything that I want to buy from WWE shops, all that for these 3 days that I want to go to Vegas. So, yeah, that's the update on that. Fingers crossed that I can make this happen. But if not, I might end up having to give these priority passes away in the end, and I'll keep you up to date on that. So with that ends the video here. I'm hoping you're having a good, sunny, sunshine, joyful day. If not, I'm sending you virtual hugs.